First, I'd like to welcome Saul Chambers, who joined our board earlier this year, and he's going to present the first part of our ME Auckland update. So over to you. Thanks, Saul.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, good. So thanks, Kate. I'll crack into it. So I hope everyone can see the first slide, and I might just turn off my video. So let's bear with me a second. So ME Auckland, as you all know, was established in 2013. And our vision is that all people with ME and CFC live their most fulfilling lives. In Auckland, our client service coordinators service people as far as Rodney and Papakura and Franklin, but we also have online services. And as you know, we have a Facebook support group as well. We have over 600 members. And we have 4 paid staff and contractors, and we have a budget of over 75k for the next year, which is fantastic. And we're making a difference in people's lives. Our focus really is around solution focused education and unwavering advocacy. But we really want to foster that meaningful connection. So, and be compassionate, emotional, and provide support. So we're very hands-on as an organisation. Next slide, please, Kate. So our services we provide are, they differ from day to day, but we really take a lot of the fantastic medical research and awareness campaigns that are available, and we hope to help people with ME and CFC in the future by tapping into that medical knowledge. But we also really want to help people that are isolated and foster more companionship. Really want to ensure that people have the basic access to their needs and can live lives without fear of the unknown. And we really want to make sure that people's mental well-being and emotional resilience is strengthened. So we have many people that are sort of isolated and bedbound, and they don't really have access to a lot of the basics in life. So we really want to help them and provide some hope, and hold their hand and really just help. And that's really our focus. We're very, I suppose, authentic and want to help people, but it's very hands-on. There's a lot of people, as you know, with very acute symptoms of ME. Next slide, Kate. So achievements, it's been a great year, despite COVID. So we've had over 1,500 support interactions, which is double what we had last year, which is fantastic. And that's really down to the fantastic work that people have been doing. We've developed a strategic plan, and we've really got a roadmap for the organisation, which we feel really, we put a lot of work in, but we think it's a really positive way forward. And also we've really secured quite a bit of funding. We've got over $70,000 in funding, which is brilliant. It's better than we did this time last year, and we've done it in less than 4 months, so that's really great. And then we've also strengthened the board. So I've come online, but we've also got John as well, that's come on board as a well-respected CEO in his own rights, and I've got a pretty decent CV myself. And we've also implemented a new client management system, Clinico, which has been a lot of work's gone into that. And we've launched the online support groups. So there's a lot of people that are isolated and can't get access to services. So that online support group's been really valuable. And we've hosted Dr. Vallings, who's presented a seminar in February as well. We've had over 1,200 page view, so there's a lot of people that have been clicking on accessing our services, which has been wonderful. Next slide, please, Kate. So, I mean, like all organisations, we've got key issues, and a lot of the issues are that we've got a lot of people that are actually suffering from ME, CFC. So, you know, as you know, 20 odd thousand in New Zealand, we've got over 6,000 Aucklanders that are currently suffering. So a lot of our, I suppose, issues are around capability. We do have, you know, four staff, but we really do need to build upon our success. Unlike other organisations like multiple sclerosis and in Auckland, we don't really get the level of funding that those organisations get, even though a lot of our members are suffering. And so we're really looking to, I suppose, grow the capability. Our staff load is high, so you know, for one FTE, so one full-time employee, they've got over you know, like 1,000 clients, which is really tough. So we have to do a lot of triaging, and we need to prioritise those people that are really acute and really suffering. We'd like to obviously be able to increase that capability there and capacity. We also need to respect and reflect the community needs. So we really want to deliver more services and meet the challenges that COVID brings. I mean, we know that we're going to be in a similar position next year and potentially the year after with COVID. It's not going to be going away, so we do need to adapt and provide services for the community. And we also need to make sure that our comms is you know, fit for purpose, and that we're actually getting out to the people that really need our services. We need to be able to source more volunteers and more funds. But it's also about collaboration as well. And there's lots of organisations around the country that are working on ME and CFC. And we're all sometimes working in silos or reinventing the wheel, and it's how we can actually work together and share ideas and best practice. So that's a key challenge for the organisation. Next slide, please, Kate. That's your one, Kate, I think. You're on mute.
Thank you. Thanks, Saul. Yeah, so how has COVID-19 impacted us? So, you know, with the lockdowns and restrictions that we've faced, we've needed to move a lot of our services online, and, you know, just as many businesses have. And we've needed to adapt to less face-to-face client visits. So we recently launched our online support groups, which are running generally every 2 weeks, and we're looking to develop them further. Our strategic plan also has a plan to build more online programs to suit our members' needs. So we are looking at how we can build more online content for our members. COVID post-viral fatigue actually has increased awareness of ME all across the world, which is a really awesome, I guess, byproduct of COVID. And because of this, more people are actually accessing our services, which you can see with the numbers that have increased over the last year. So there is a real strain and real pressure on our services, but it's also great to see more people becoming aware of ME, CFS, and the illness. Lockdowns have actually resulted in a closure of gaming venues as well. So this has actually reduced the availability of funding. But however, we've actually still managed to secure over the amount of funds that we normally did for this year. And I really have to do a shout out for Patrick for this and our previous fundraiser, Stephanie Maitland. Patrick works tirelessly on our funding campaigns, and it's due to his hard work that we've managed to really stay above this with the resulting lockdowns of gaming venues. It's estimated that 15% of people who have COVID are going to end up with some sort of long COVID or some form of post-viral fatigue. And that actually puts ME Auckland in a really unique position to be able to support people with long COVID. The symptoms of it are really similar to ME, apart from some of the respiratory challenges that they have. And it's the symptom management and understanding the condition and helping people improve the management of those symptoms that really makes a difference to people's lives and how they can live a more quality life. And it's something that not a lot of the doctors and general health practitioners out there understand. And so we are in a unique position to help people with long COVID. So one of our strategic directions is to be able to connect with people and provide some services for long COVID sufferers as well. So as Saul mentioned, we developed a strategic plan earlier in this year, and it's been a really, really exciting year because this is the first of its kind for this organisation, and it really is comprehensive. We're going to be sending out a copy of this to all our members, and we'll have it on the Facebook page after the AGM has finished. And we've also done a detailed chart of SMART goals for each of the elements in our strategic plan, because we want to ensure that we can be as successful as possible in delivering on it. And each of these areas address the challenges that Saul spoke about just a bit earlier. So the first one is building capacity. And we've made a great start on this year with strengthening our board governance. We've welcomed a couple of new members who have an amazing range of skills, and it's fantastic to have them on board and have their direction and strategy driving us. We've also increased our client support coordinator team, and we plan to grow this further too in the next year or so. We've also adopted the new client management system that Saul mentioned. And we've taken on a part-time administrator. Now, the part-time administrator, Michelle, is fantastic, and this has really enabled the board to let go of some of that operational tasks and focus more on the governance, which is where the board should be focusing. We further plan to cement this in the next coming years with employing an operations manager as well, which will allow us to take the organisation to another level. Now, we can't grow this organisation without funding, so this strategic initiative also includes the further development of our funding and fundraising programs. So that's all just under building capacity. The next area of the strategic plan is introducing new and accessible programs that meet our members' needs. And one of the things we need to do is start talking to our members more about what it is that they need over and above the services that they're already getting. So that's something that we plan to start doing. One of the key things aspects of our services that we take pride in is actually being able to make all our services accessible to everyone. So despite age, race, severity of illness, economic situation and the like, we want to be able to reach everybody with ME and provide services to everybody to meet their needs and the severity of their condition. And we've made a conscious decision that at the moment our Auckland-based support coordinators will work with Auckland-based people, but our online support group, we made a conscious decision earlier in the year to have that go national. So anybody nationally is welcome to join our online Facebook support group. In addition to the plans we mentioned around the online support groups and new content for our members connecting with the long COVID community, we also have started projects that include a comprehensive and accessible doctors list and resource materials that people with ME can use for interactions with their GPs and to help them source the help that they need in the health system. We're also looking at a members only resource library on our website. So the third area is strengthening communication. And this is communication with our members. So we're going to revise and relaunch our ME Auckland newsletter, which we've been a bit under-resourced to do in the last year. We're looking at ways that we can hear from our community more about what they need. So if you have feedback on what you need and feel like there's a gap in the services that we provide, we really welcome your feedback, so feel free to message us or email us. We're also looking at rebranding and creating a communication strategy to reach out to more people with ME in Auckland, but also share information more effectively with our community, with our donors, our funders, and also alongside this to have a greater media presence. We want to try and increase the awareness of ME Auckland and ME as an illness. And also with this is sharing people's stories of ME and how people have been challenged with the illness, but then also how ME Auckland have helped them during their journey. We want to do this to raise awareness, but also raise the profile of ME Auckland, and also to help us to gain more funding to allow us to grow these services that we want to grow. At the moment, we're looking at doing a short series of videos. So if anybody is willing to share their story, whether it's written or on video, please do get in touch with us. And the last one from our strategic plan is collaborating to improve outcomes. And Saul mentioned that when we work together, we can achieve so much more, and we all can benefit from national ME community working together. And it's a challenge because most of the leadership in the ME community space in New Zealand are all volunteers, and so we're all stretched, we're all doing our own mahi, and it is hard to do that, but we're going to make a conscious effort to collaborate more with ME groups across the country so that we can share ideas, share resources, create a united front for national events such as ME Awareness Day, and that will help us to streamline things and have a greater impact overall. We're also going to set up regular member surveys so that we can work with our members and collaborate with our members on what they need to. So part of developing our strategic plan earlier in this year, we realised that our vision and mission didn't quite clearly communicate what we really wanted it to communicate. So we revised this along with the strategic plan. So our revised mission is that all people with ME CFS live their most fulfilling life. Now, we realise that not everyone with ME CFS is going to potentially get back to where they were before or what have you, but we want people to be able to live their best life, the one that they can at least improve where they're at or do better. So it's about helping people to live their most fulfilling life. And this includes related conditions, so fibro and other conditions that come with ME CFS. And it also includes the carers and relatives of those with ME CFS. We're aware of the burden and the not burden that is on them, but the burden that they carry from looking after people and caring for people, and the emotional aspect of wanting their loved ones to be well and to get better. And so supporting them is also a key part of our work. So our revised mission is every person with ME CFS and related conditions experience high quality healthcare and community support free from stigma and discrimination. And we all know that we've had enough stigma and discrimination with having ME, and the more we can dispel that, and Professor Tate's amazing research is a key part of that, and we thank him for what he's done in that space. But it's a key element of making sure that people with ME CFS have a fulfilling life. So we aim to improve the lives of those with ME CFS and their families by providing accessible support not otherwise available through the public health system.
Thanks, Kate. So we have a fair number of really positive client stories, but I thought I'd just share a couple with you. client from West Auckland, they had real troubles finding fixed abodes, and they were living in quite an unsuitable boarding house when they approached ME Auckland for help. So we really supported them to find permanent housing solution. The feedback was really positive. So, you know, I found my support worker to be professional, thorough and caring in her approach. If it wasn't for her understanding of work and income processes, I would not have gotten into social housing after 16 years and 5 years on the waiting list. Her support enabled me to secure brand new, fully insulated, double glazed, mold-free wheelchair access housing. While no low-income residency is perfect or always safe, I have been able to make a home for the first time in 16 years and finally have the housing stability I wanted all my life for the rest of my life. Thank you, ME Auckland. And then the other one from East Auckland, I'll share that this was a support of a client over an extended period. They really weren't having much success in being independent. So they really needed some emotional support and a lot of advocacy to their GP, plus also work and income. They were supported with the District Health Board for their needs assessment and for personal care and for home help. And they were supported through the process, and there was a lot of follow-up as well. There was also a lot of issues around supporting the client with counselling and access to counselling, but also advocacy as well, particularly around work and income and the benefit review. There was a lot of follow-up as well, and also referrals to the District Health Board social work team. And so the comments were, you've been the only person I've come across to regularly keep me in the loop. You kept me sane on a number of occasions, and I wanted to cry for days. I think that I've asked my GP or work and income for, well, you know, the contrast between how they treated me versus how they would how you treated me is there. So huge. You remember my name, remember me personally. You've invested in me as a person rather than as a statistic, as the District Health Board has done. My appreciation is off the scale. And we've got lots of other quotes like that. You know, it just shows the strength and the great work that the support workers has been doing, and our teams on the ground. And yeah, there's a lot of great comments there, and I could carry on for quite a while, but we'll move on to the next slide, Kate.
Thanks, Sol. Cool. So how can you support us? So if you appreciate the work that we are doing, there are a few ways that you can support us. If you're part of our ME community, then I've mentioned before, feedback is really important to us. So feel free to come and chat with one of us if you have some ideas. Volunteering, if you have any specialist skills that could help us, we want to create a media plan. So if anybody's got any, you know, media skills, marketing and branding skills, facilitation, you know, we have amazing people who facilitate our support groups, but there's always more support facilitators who are needed. And we want to, you know, get a stock of images of photography that we can use rather than, you know, random images from the internet. So anybody who's able to support us in that area would greatly help us as well. Another area is donating goods. So, you know, when we get new staff, these new staff need new phones and laptops and other equipment. And they don't have to be brand new, they just have to be functional. So, you know, anybody who has any functional equipment around that they may not be using anymore, then any sort of equipment donations are also welcome. And of course, donating funds. We wouldn't be where we are today without donations, and we greatly appreciate the donations that we receive from members and support people and the general public. We have a revised Give a Little page that gives you a little bit of an idea of some of the costs that and where your money might go if you were to donate to us. And you know, if you can't afford $30 and you want to give us $5, any amount is beneficial. We will use it all, and we really appreciate the help that anyone can give us in that area. So finally, a huge thanks to all the people that we couldn't do the work that we do without, and this includes volunteers, staff and contractors, past board members, present board members, and professionals who give their time and expertise to help us along the way. I need to make a special mention to Frances O'Connor, who resigned from our board at the end of last year. She spent a couple of years on our board, maybe even longer, and made an incredible contribution as our treasurer and also stepped in as our secretary. So we really appreciate the work that you did when you were with us, Frances, and we look forward to keeping in touch with you. Also just want to acknowledge the enormous amount of work that Patrick does as our president. We wouldn't be where we were if we didn't have him guiding us. He puts in a lot of work behind the scenes and also up front sometimes. So we really, really appreciate you, Patrick. So thank you so much. And then lastly, also thanks to our amazing funders for this year: Community Organisation Grant Scheme, Four Winds Foundation, Lottery Grants Board, and Rano Community Trust. And then last but not least, our generous donors. So our individual donors are amazing, and we couldn't do the work that we do without them. So we really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Patrick, did you want to say a couple of words?
Yeah, thank you, Kate, for a nice acknowledgement as well. You take me by surprise. That's very kind of you to say. But I also wanted to acknowledge you guys. I mean, one of the things that keeps me going and putting in all hours for this charity is having such an amazing, incredible team of people around us here at ME Auckland. Every day I'm so grateful for the talents of yourself, Saul, Anil, Neerja, John. It's you guys. I couldn't ask for a better board, and you know, in 8 years of our organisation and history, it's never been stronger. So thank you so much. You guys inspire me every day. Without further ado, I suppose everybody's waiting for the Professor Tate talk. Is that next on our agenda, or are we going to do a few resolutions first?
Not quite, yes. We've just got Neerja is just going to present our financial annual report. So I'll hand over to you, Neerja, and thank you so much, Neerja, for the amazing work that you do as our treasurer.
Thank you, Neerja.
Kia ora, everyone. I hope everyone can listen to me. Yeah, I'm working with ME Auckland for more than 1 year now, and I'm enjoying my work with a talented and experienced team of ME. And special thanks to Patrick and Kate for their hard work in keeping everyone together. Thank you so much. And I'm pleased to present the financial report of ME Auckland for the year ended 30th of June 2021. As everyone knows, we report under Tier 3 accrual-based accounting, and this year our financial review was conducted by the Chartered Accountant Derek McDowell, as same as last year. On total funding we have received year to end of 30th of June 2021 is 39,859. All expenses and support worker wages are 40,944. So the financial performance shows deficit of 1,085. But later in July and August, we received more funding, which was double from last year, which has given us a room to increase the output of our support workers. So that is good for us. And I would like to thank all our funders and donors for such a wonderful contribution. And it is very much appreciated, looking forward for the same generosity in future. Thanks everyone for their valuable time. Thank you so much. I pass it to Kate.
Thanks heaps, Neerja. So we have a quick series of motions just to go through, but before I do that, there's one special thank you that I actually forgot, and I just need to make this shout out to Natalie, our community support coordinator. She has worked tirelessly over the last year to ensure that our clients are supported, and she gets some incredible outcomes because she doesn't give up. She does not give up. When a client is in a real strife with their health provider because they're not getting support, or with work and income, she's like a dog with a bone, and the clients end up getting what they need because Natalie doesn't give up. And it's a real amazing quality that she has, and she does a fabulous job of emotionally supporting our clients as well. And we could not be doing the work that we are doing without Natalie. So I just had to make a shout out to you. Thank you so much, Natalie, for all your hard work. We hugely appreciate you and the work that you've done. So just a quick series of motions that require approval. They need to be voted on at every AGM and just give our members a say about the future of our organisation. So bear with us, and then we will get on to Professor Tate's presentation. So for ME Auckland members, an action will pop up on your screen on Zoom, and you'll be able to vote for these. You can either approve it or decline it. So our first action is that I move that the minutes of the previous AGM held on the 10th of October 2020 be approved. So, oh no, my polling is inactive. There's always a session where technology doesn't quite work for you. I don't know why it's not working, but it's not. I know why. Anyway, we will do it without polling. If we can get a show of hands, if someone doesn't mind seconding, and then all in favour, people can unmute themselves and say aye, then we'll do it that way. So do I have a second for the minutes from last year?
Yeah, second here, Kate.
Thanks, Patrick. All in favour?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
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 Anyone not? Awesome. Thank you. Second motion, I approve that Patrick, I move that Patrick Hadfield be reappointed president of ME Auckland. Do I have a second for that?
Yes, Michelle.
Michelle. All in favour?
Aye.
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 Yes.
Aye.
Cool.
Great. And then I move that Kate Duda be reappointed vice president of ME Auckland. All in favour. Oh, so do I have a seconder, please?
Second here, so Patrick.
All in favour.
Aye.
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 Any noes?
Cool.
Great, carried.
Awesome. And I move that Anil Luthra reappointed as director of ME Auckland. Do I have a second?
Second here.
Aye.
Cool. All in favour?
Yep.
Aye.
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 Cool.
Aye.
No declines. I move that Saul Chambers be reappointed as director of ME Auckland. Do I have a second for that one?
I'll second. Michelle.
Cool. Thanks, Michelle. All in favour?
Aye.
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 And then lastly, I move that John Luth be appointed director ME Auckland. If I can have a second for that.
Aye, Jenny.
Thanks, Jenny. All in favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Thanks so much, everybody.